Okay, so I never do lives. I've probably been on this app 7 years, 8 years, and I've done maybe 2 or 3 lives. I just want to address a couple things, all positive, you guys, all positive. So for those of you who have followed me from day one or have followed my story, you know the real me then. You do. And the link in my bio, my son and I both have a YouTube page. So I'm going to talk about the past couple days. I don't have anything scripted. It's just like a thing playing on in my head, what I got to talk about, what I got to say, and I probably will forget everything because I'm live and I feel like, I'm wearing a ton of makeup today. I chose to wear a ton of makeup, okay? I am a professional makeup artist. I have a filter on. Now, it has nothing, this post or this live has nothing to do with the way I look. Mostly about, if you want to see how I really look on a daily basis, check out my YouTube channel. Okay, so I posted a video on YouTube a couple days ago. And I like to post videos of me and my son because I like to document my son's life. I like to make it public. And the reason I do that is because no matter who you are, a mom or a dad, any parent, or like a parent of a dog, a parent of a cat, a parent of a bird, no joke, no matter who you are in the world, you can relate. And that's what I love about social media that we never had before. People can relate, not to the fake Instagram photos I'm posting, but to real life issues that every parent goes through. So anyway, the last video I posted on my son's YouTube page was me trying to get him to breathe with a nebulizer. And the reason I like to document the videos, certain videos, is I like to show doctors because they always ask questions, and I've been doing that over the years. The other thing is, my son is very vocal, loud, screams, and has massive, massive earth-shattering meltdowns, okay? And I want people to know, if they call the cops, and if the cops show up, I have a video proof showing what's happening, what's going on. I know that's sad, but it's true. That's why I have to do a lot of videos for his meltdowns. And when I call EMS, which I had to call 911, right after I did that video, I immediately had to call 911. He wasn't breathing, okay? I had documentation. They didn't ask to see the video, but I always have to save my ass. There's no other witnesses around me, okay? I have my 4 birds and my dog, but he is so vocal, so loud. I could have neighbors calling the cops. I could have people saying, that kid's constantly screaming in agony. I have to, just document things for that reason too. So anyway, what I'm getting into is after I posted that video with him on the nebulizer because he couldn't breathe, I made the executive decision as his sole caregiver to call 911. My son had explosive diarrhea, TMA, for 12 days. Yes, I understand having the flu for 3 to 6 days. I understand that. But when you have it 12 days around the clock, that's not normal. So I was monitoring him, keeping him home, monitoring his fever, doing everything I could to not go to the hospital. And if you're a parent, you know what I mean. You don't want to have to go to the hospital. You just know. Anyway, 911 came, blah, blah, blah. If you followed my story, spent 2 days in the hospital. I'm not going to get into all that. I just want to say that I'm grateful for the nursing staff, and I'm also grateful for the EMTs. And even though I'm upset, okay, with the healthcare system, I don't blame the nursing staff because they have to take orders from the doctor. So after being in the hospital, living there with Reese for lots of like weeks because he's had 4 major surgeries and I've lived in the hospital. You get to know, like, you see how the hierarchy works, I guess. They take orders from the doctor. They can only do so much. So when you see a doctor who comes in, who doesn't know you, doesn't know your child, and just is looking at the vitals of what the nurses wrote down, but don't sit with you or sit with your child and say, okay, you're good, go. You're like, what? My kid can't breathe. So obviously a pediatrician was going around, doesn't know us, wanted to discharge us yesterday at first thing in the morning, whatever. And I'm like videoing him. I said, no. And then she left, right? And they unhooked his IV. They followed the orders, the nurses, because the nurses are doing their job. And I appreciate them. I have friends who are nurses. I'll be honest, I couldn't do that job. No, thank you. So anyway, I was like a tired mom. And I'm like, okay, so if I take him home, he stops breathing again, I'll be bringing him back. If there's a blizzard, I have to call 911. So I was dressing him. I got him fully dressed, diaper on, packed up, ready to go. And as he laid down again on the hospital bed, he was doing like, I have it in video. He couldn't breathe. And I'm like, oh my God. You know how you have that parental sense of like, no, it's not right. Nothing's right. It's not right. So I said to the nurse, I need to see the doctor again. I need a second opinion. Doctor didn't like that. She did not like that. She came in and I said, no, listen. And I was calm. Like I'm pretty calm because I'm so used to the system because I've had to live at the hospital. I was calm. I said, listen, I really need you to stop and watch him. Just come here and watch him. See what he's doing? And I laid him down and he's struggling breathing. I said, he's warm. Yes, his vitals say he's not fevered. He's not breathing. And she looks at me and she's like, whatever, he can stay. And then she left. And I'm like, you have to be a parent. You have to be an advocate. And like, even if you aren't a parent, but you are an advocate for a person in your family or your parents, your own parents, or for somebody else that you care for, and you have to speak up for them. You come off as mean, you come off as aggressive, you come off as people not understanding. So I try to stay as calm as possible because they're like, oh, it's a upset mom again kind of thing. Trust me, 15 years of this, I get it. So anyway, we stayed at the hospital until 6 p.m. I fed him, changed him. They did his vitals. His vitals were fine. So that being said, he had 5 vials of blood to do blood work and testing to find. They explained everything to me, what the blood was for, what they were looking for. They also did a test. We were looking for influenza A, we were looking for COVID, and we were looking for Nova virus. Forget. Because this is what's been going around with the kids in the school system or at daycares, okay? To my shock, like severe shock, they all came back clear. And I'm like, what? And the doctor was like, the other doctor, not the one who wanted to send us home, the doctor the night before was like, I want to get him some chest x-rays too. Blood work, chest x-rays, urine sample, stool sample. I'm like, yeah, let's do it, please. Because 12 days, I will do anything not to take him to the hospital. They sent in the samples. They sent everything in. Here, to my surprise and bewilderment, it came back clear, all of it. Like, nothing wrong with his blood work. His blood work was perfect. And chest was clear. They were explaining to me what they would see if he had a virus or if he had bronchial issues. Like, and as a baby, Reese had croup, so that's why we own a nebulizer, because I've had to take him. And, I think as a parent, when you have no answers, that's when you give in and you kind of go see the doctors and stuff. So before I left, I said, is she going to give us any antibiotics or anything? He's still warm, like he's not fevered. He's been cleared to go to school, like he was cleared. So he's at school, and the teacher and the principal and I have a great relationship, nonstop communication. So out of nowhere, this friend of mine from high school who has been on my Facebook, I've known her since I was like, I don't know, 14, 13. She's a beautiful mom of 3 kids. She's a school teacher. Sends me a message. Hey, Rachel, did they check his throat and his ears? I'm like, well, they tried to check his throat. And if you guys know my son or seen him in the videos, he refuses. He pushes things away. He's visually impaired. He doesn't want anyone near him. But they couldn't really check his throat because they tried. Well, she goes, it could be his tonsils. Boom. Are you kidding me? I never even... A fever, 12 days of diarrhea. My son is nonverbal. Yes, he communicates to me with his signs. I know exactly what my son is telling me when it comes to anger, hungry, food. Like mentally, he's all there, okay? So I understand him. So when she said it could be tonsillitis, I'm just like, oh my God. And the reason the doctor wouldn't give us antibiotics, she's like, it will just cause him diarrhea. I'm thinking, oh, okay. But, it just, you feel like such a detective all the time, especially when you have a child who can't say, hey, Mom, my throat's sore. Hey, Mom, I woke up, my ear aches. I got a headache. And I brush his teeth every day. I'm very, hygiene is so important. But I don't see back into the throat. So it makes so much sense. So I guess I'm going to investigate that going forward. Tonsillitis, yeah, I had my tonsils out, I think, when I was 6. I don't remember, but I remember always having a sore throat, not wanting to eat or drink. Totally makes sense, 100%. Now, the other thing I want to say on this live, because I will forget, I hate that I don't script things. Think, Rachel, think. Oh, Shay, the moms that reached out to me, Shelly, Shay, Heather, Amy, thank you. And the dads that reached out to me, thank you. I appreciate it. That's the thing about being relatable. Anyone who is a parent, even if it is of a sick cat, a sick dog, a sick elderly, or just you don't want to see your child or anyone you love sick. And the healthcare system, I say, is broken. It's not like it used to be. It isn't. It truly isn't. I remember the days when, even as a little girl, when I was in the hospital for tonsillitis, stuff like that, the nurses would sit and talk with you, you do things. But now they're so busy, they have to go out and they have to document and document and document. And it's just a different system. And I can understand why a lot of people get frustrated, and I can understand why a lot of nursing staff are frustrated too. I can totally see that. I could not do their job. Oh, I would lose my mind. So that's why over the years, when I'm talking to the nursing staff, I treat them like, how are you? Did you sleep good last night? And the nurse that was with us, she was an angel. And I was like, well, what do you work today? She's like, 12 hours. I'm like, oh my God, that is insane. Oh yeah, I just hit my head. So kudos to them. And if you have the time to really want to get to know the real Rachel and real life, not Instagram life, in the link in my profile, you will see the link, all my links. The YouTube page Reese and I I've started it maybe 8 or 9 years ago. I don't really know. But in that channel, I like to show the good, the bad, the ugly, all of it. Not just, hey, today's a great day. Hey. I like to be relatable because I have a child who has, cerebral palsy. He's visually impaired. He has a seizure disorder. There is good days. There's amazing days. And he is my whole world, right? I'm here for him. but I like to show everything so people can understand, can relate. I'm not trying to like, anyone can understand, anyone can relate. You don't have to have a child with disabilities. You don't have to have a child with a disorder to understand. You just need to give your head a shake when it comes to the healthcare system and what's been happening and what's going on. And a lot of people are saying, you know, privatize, and I'm thinking, okay. And then I'm also looking in holistically too. Eastern medicine, I'm really loving that. I'm really loving that, you know. A lot of the things I use for myself, like it's called Kaleido Silver. It's, Google it. Seriously, Google it. I've used it for years. It's when the antibiotics don't work, and it's what they used to use back in the day. You can get that stuff at health food stores, Kaleido Silver. It's not cheap though, but it works, and there's no side effects. Other than that, thanks for listening. The other thing is, you may not know me, you may not like me, and that's okay, because at least you can relate to knowing someone in your life you have to care for, or yourself, you have an issue with your own health and you're dealing with the healthcare system. Somewhere deep down inside, you can relate, and that's all that matters. So many updates. I appreciate, everyone. I don't know how lives work and how long they stay on, but hopefully the people I mentioned see this, and I will keep you updated with my son, probably in my stories as per usual, and on his YouTube page. So that's all I have. Thank you for watching. And 1 week till Christmas. Okay, bye.